Independence morning to one and all. Take this opportunity to wish every Grenadian, wherever you are, a very happy 47th Independence. I also take this opportunity to welcome you to the military parade commemorating our 47th year of independence of Grenada. The parade is now marching on to the parade ground. And as I've just heard commented in the background, they are looking outstanding this morning. Now, this year's parade will be slightly different from what we're used to. First of all, it is significantly scaled down, and all these changes are due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So this morning we'll only have the armed platoons on parade. Every person on parade will be wearing their face mask. Of course, we do not have the usual audience at the stadium, so we're going virtual this morning. It is common that the platoons are dressed at arm-length distance. This morning, they will be dressed at an arm length and a half to cater as much as possible for social distancing. This time the inspection will be taken with the platoons in 3 ranks instead of 2. And we also take this opportunity to encourage all our citizens to observe and maintain all protocols and practices designed to keep yourself, your family, and everyone else safe. The parade is currently under the command of the 4th Sergeant Major, Sergeant K. Noel. And the platoon assignments are as follows. Platoon number 1, drawn from the Special Services Unit, is under the command of ASC Paul Christopher, and his second in command, Inspector K. Stanislaus. Platoon number 2, RGPF Regular Male, is under the command of ASC Desmond Richard, his assistant Inspector J. Francis. present platoons are under the command of the second in charge of the respective platoons. And they are now taking their positions to the front of their respective platoons. The 4th Sergeant Major is now in the process of dressing the parade. As indicated earlier, they will remain in 3 ranks. The platoon to the fire. Back. Carry on. Both get back. Present. Cut it. Back. Ready. Stand. Still. Stop. Rearing. Aim. Eyes. Continue the assignments. Platoon number 3, the female regular, is under the command of Inspector Errolyn Gowie, and her second in command, Sergeant M. Bedeau. ASP Watson Edwards is in command of platoon number 4, drawn from the Grenada Coast Guard. Assistant Inspector W. Francis. The 4th Sergeant Major has just handed over the parade to the Adjutant, Assistant Superintendent Holly George. And the Adjutant, for those of you who are not aware or familiar with that term, is the person second in command of the parade today. The platoon commanders are now taking up their positions to the front of their respective platoons, while the second in command retreats to the rear of the platoon. And to continue with the assignments, platoon number 5 is drawn from Her Majesty's Prisons and is under the command of Principal Officer L. McLeod, and the second in command, Principal Officer C. Leslie. Color party is now being marched on to the parade. Platoon number 6 today is drawn from the Grenadier Cadet Corps and is under the command of Captain Mac Barrett. Second in command, Warrant Officer M. Noel. The adjutant is now awaiting the parade commander, the command of his parade. The usual lovely music is being provided by the Royal Grenadier Police Force Band, and the band is under the command of Inspector Ethan Francis, and our drum major is Constable L. Langdon. The ensigns. Inspector M. Pursuit is responsible for our national flag and the police flag. Inspector L. McQueen. Escorts are Sergeant A. Panchu and Sergeant D. Blackett. We await the parade commander. Also, as part of the scale down of the parade, the march past is omitted. I believe that's one of the spectacles that is usually looked forward to. Fortunately, it had to be cut out this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, the parade commander has taken command of his parade, and I'm proud to inform you that the commander of the Independence Parade 2021 is none other than Superintendent of Police Randy Connaught. Superintendent Connaught is on his 30th year of service to Grenada, having joined the RGPF in 1991. He has undergone a significant amount of training while serving. Those include staff and command, executive leadership, media communication, crisis management, law enforcement management, and law enforcement management advanced.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome. We are coming to you live from the National Stadium in St. George's, Grenada. It is the 47th anniversary of our independence. Wherever you are in Grenada and across the world, happy independence to you. It's a military parade of the 47th anniversary of our independence. Today, Sunday, February 7th, 2021. I am Brenda Batiste. Good morning, wherever you are, and welcome. And it is my pleasure to introduce alongside me today Superintendent Sylvan McIntyre. Happy Independence to you and good morning.
Happy Independence, Brenda, and a pleasant good morning to you. A pleasant good morning to everyone on this a wonderful day that God has blessed us with, the 47th Independence celebration here at the National Stadium. It is history in the making. It is our first virtual Independence parade, and so to an extent it is a boiled down sort of to the expectations of the average Grenadian. And I'm sure with the introduction of electronics, people can now view the parade despite it being smaller than what it is in the comfort of their home. So again, it's a wonderful day. It's my pleasure to be here to bring you to the National Stadium to cover this event so that you can actually feel that you're here witnessing the 47th Independence Military Parade.
And you mentioned the times under which we are celebrating, and it is so poignant and ironic because it was under a state of emergency that Grenada bid farewell to British rule, and independence was celebrated by candlelight over Fort George as the Union Jack was lowered and Grenada's national flag was hoisted on the stroke of midnight. So, we were under a state of emergency at that time, and here we are in 2021, 47 years later, because of a pandemic, within a state of emergency, so to speak, and celebrating our independence virtually.
Great. States of emergency, different conditions, obviously. Obviously, this is a pandemic. It is a health issue. It is one that has serious implications just for everyone.
Absolutely.
But I think we have risen to the occasion, as we've done in the 47 years since we've celebrated, we started our independence. And so this is no less of an expectation from us as Grenadians to rise, to show some level of tenacity and resilience and so forth. And even the police force, the police high command, taking up the mantle to have this here in itself is remarkable.
Absolutely. As mentioned earlier by the officer doing the parade commentary out there, that the platoons are smaller but not less colorful. I mean, it is every time the police moves in parade on Independence Day, Superintendent McIntyre, the child in me comes out, and it's still chilling. It is still exciting, and I'm sure it is the same for Grenadians looking on. And, on February 7th, on this day in 1974, we became a sovereign nation. And what is really, really, really symbolic about it, and we often lose sight of, is that we were gaining our independence after 200 years or so of British rule. So it was quite a significant milestone. And it was almost 300 years after the island first became a French colony. Of course, Grenada is a very, very, very colorful history, and it's borne out in the beautiful colors of our national flag, just how vibrant and colorful it is. And of course, we also became the first associated state at the one of the smallest in the Western Hemisphere. So we are small in size, but giant in stature. And here we are just showing just how resilient, how vibrant we are on this day.
So listeners, in the comfort of your homes or wherever you are within the diaspora, we are now witnessing the first arrival, and that is of the Commissioner of Police, the High Commander of the Royal Grenada Police Force, the one who's actually responsible for the parade on ground here today. So as the Commissioner of Police makes his way into the arena, ascending from the northern end of the ground, he is preceded by a motorcycle escort, and the parade is nicely arrayed awaiting his arrival. As indicated before, the parade displayed before you is commanded by Superintendent Randy Connaught, and his assistant is Assistant Superintendent Holly George.
And Commissioner Edwin Martin, of course, he was recently confirmed in his position, no longer acting commissioner, truly deserved, and here he is this morning.
And he is received by one of his assistant commissioners, Mr. Michael Francois.
And we welcome Commissioner of Police, Mr. Edwin Martin, the Independence Parade 2021.
So Commissioner Martin ascends the dais. The parade is called to attention, and he receives a fanfare and a salute by all gazetted officers, including the Assistant Commissioner, Mr. Michael Francois. So, Commissioner Martin. So as he descends the DS, the officers would be asked to stand at ease as we await the second arrival.
The second arrival, of course, will be that of the Prime Minister, scheduled to arrive any moment now. Of course, the commissioners of police, today, Independence Day, is probably one of the days where they perform the highest in terms of what they are called to do, and really and truly to observe their ranks, get the honor from them, and it's really the highest form of what any police commissioner is called to do on this day, receiving that salute.
Brenda, you mentioned the child coming out of you whenever you witness one of these parades or where you have to do the announcements and etc. And being a police officer myself, I can recall the first parade that I attended to, and the level of anxiety that is associated with you wanting to be at a parade to display your agility, your skills, etc. in drills. And it is one of the times when police officers look forward to not necessarily having to stand there a length of time listening to long speeches, but to be able to proudly display your uniforms. Yes, being able to display your uniform and being able to in a different way show the skills that you have, and how proud you are to represent the colors and to represent the RGPF.
Indeed. And many commissioners took this role before, between 1969 to present. We had people like Mr. Stephen Bascom, Mr. Nugent David, just to mention a few, Mr. Osbert James, Mr. Adonis Francis, Mr. Ralph Stanislaus, Mr. James Clarkson, who did it twice, Mr. A.B. Bernard, Major Ian St. Bernard, as you hear the term now changes to Major because it was during the time of the Revolution, Major Patrick McLeish, Mr. Cosmas Raymond, Mr. Fitzroy Bedeau, Mr. James Clarkson, Mr. Winston James, Mr. Edwin Martin, and there was a commissioner that eludes me. Between Commissioners Clarkson and James.
Oh, that is, was it Mr. Thompson?
That's correct, Mr. Willen Thompson. Yes, so all these commissioners have come during the period of 1974 to present, and have in some way, form or fashion received this salute that Commissioner Martin got here this morning.
Among the commissioners mentioned, it is also important to note, as we mentioned, Commissioner St. Bernard. History records he's one of the youngest commissioners.
Major Ian St. Bernard
held the reign as commissioner. And so we are fortunate that there are few or many of these commissioners, past commissioners, that they are still here with us. Some are listening very keenly to the broadcast. Others are looking on with very, very critical eyes, and not necessarily to downgrade the RGPF, but to make a contribution still towards,
absolutely, because on a day like today, even though they are retired, they automatically looking on here. The character of the police officer just engulfs them, and so they are looking on in that capacity this morning, I'm sure. Somebody like Mr. Clarkson probably have a notebook out and taking some notes to send across.
Absolutely.
To you guys.
It is also important to note for the record and for history that this is the first time that our officers will be displaying their medals at a national parade.
Really?
And the badges of good conduct badges, you can see them being worn on the right sides, and the medals are being worn on the left. And you would have seen, as well as the camera zoomed in closer, you could have seen displayed by Commissioner Martin himself, the
Yes.
awards that he has also gained. So it is a very, very proud moment. It's unfortunate that the crowds could not have been here very closely to observe and to show recognition and appreciation for the officers who've contributed. There you are, the display of medals being worn for the very first time at a national parade. So as I mentioned, as you look on the left, the medals themselves and the
Right.
badges are there on the right. It shows the good conduct. It also shows Mr. Martin has one for service for the Caracom region, and he
Yes.
has good conduct and long service.
Good
These are the
conduct,
representation of the badges and medals that he's wearing today.
And it's really, really, really. We see the beautiful sights of in the foreground. There is the Wilberforce Cemetery, the St. George's Center Cemetery, and of course the road to the National Stadium. We are looking at the Prime Minister's motorcade. His outriders are out front, and of course he is right there. Coming into the National Stadium. There's no traffic this morning. Everything has been cleared, and he is moving. And all things considered, he should touch parade ground in about 2 minutes' time.
Brenda, looking at the scenery here this morning, it's a reminder and a reflection of the beauty of this wonderful country for which we are blessed to be a part of. And again, technology is playing into our advantage, and I'm sure our cameramen and our our drones that are out there capturing the footage for us. It is really a significant addition, enhancing the image of our independence celebration. Grenada is really a beautiful place.
It is.
I don't think we can overstate that. And we let us sound proud. Let us be
Yes,
proud. And I am proud.
absolutely.
I am happy to be a part
So
of this
am I.
occasion and
So
happy to be
am I.
Grenadian.
So
I'm sure
am I.
most people would be saying similar as they listen to us bringing this
Absolutely.
broadcast live across.
It must be nostalgic for those in the diaspora looking on this morning, missing home, looking at the sights and sounds. The folks from Darbo probably pointing, oh, there's my house.
Yes.
So and it's really, really great. The Prime Minister has just gone past, his motorcade that is, has just gone past the Grenlec power station, coming up now on the Grenada, on gate 6 of the
Yes.
National Stadium, and then we'll go past they will go past the building of the Grenada Football Association. Or are they going to enter gate 6? They are entering gate 6.
My memory serves me right. I think it's the first time we are able to follow
It
the
is.
dignitaries
Yes.
entering from this distance.
It
And
is.
there is, to every bad comes a good. And I think
There's opportunities in every
opportunities
crisis. Yes.
created in every crisis. And so those of you who are fixed at your television screens, your computers, wherever you are, within the comfort of your home, persons at the National Stadium are not privileged to have such a fantastic view as you
Absolutely.
are. And maybe if you were here at the National Stadium, would be saying, I was going to be missing all this spectacle.
Right. Probably would have been
coming
beamed
in.
on the screen to them. But what it does is it enhances the broadcast, and we must give special commendations to our production and technical team here, that of TNR Communications and the GIS broadcast team. So the Prime Minister's motorcade is now on the parade ground. And here he comes.
And he's preceded by two of his very competent outriders, motorcyclists, and the black BMW, followed by a black Prado, Prime Minister
I'm going to
and
leave
escort.
that with you. I must tell you, I'm very illiterate when it comes to types of vehicles.
I can tell you, yes, it is.
So thank you for pointing those
yes, it is a BMW and a Toyota Prado with the two motorcyclists preceding. It is very,
I
very.
guess what he would miss most today, normally when the Prime Minister arrived at the parade grounds on an Independence Day from time immemorial, is the cheers that they are
Yes.
greeted with
Yes.
from the Grenadian people. And that will be missing today. But I'm sure he can feel their spirit, feel their vibrance, feel their agitation, as many of us are challenged at this time during this pandemic. and him being charged with the leadership of this country at this time, it must be a bittersweet moment for him. Also, we must point out that it is probably very bittersweet as he's coming in this morning having lost one of his comrades in political and a very good friend of his,
Yes.
Mr. Elvin G. Nimrod of Carriacou, who passed yesterday.
Yes.
So it must be quite a bittersweet day for the Prime Minister. But here he is this morning making his way to receive his salute.
So, listeners and viewers, wherever you are, the parade under the command of Superintendent Cannot has been just called to attention. The Prime Minister's security, they have just alighted from the transports. They flanked the vehicle in which the Prime Minister is intended to emerge from. And the Prime Minister emerges.
Not yet.
That's his security. One of the things, Brenda, I think the security that are selected, they look very much sharp and
sharp.
very and dressed like Prime Minister, look like him. So the Prime Minister emerges from. He is received by the Commissioner of Police
and the Chief of Protocol, Mr. Adrian Joseph.
Correct. The Prime Minister ascends the saluting dais. At this point, the parade, they're asked to shoulder arms, and the Prime Minister would now receive what is a general salute. So the parade will be asked to shoulder arms by the parade commander. They're asked to order arms as the Prime Minister steps down from the saluting dais to take up his position on the parade field or in this wonderful arena that is set here today. Brenda, I am, for the purpose of our listeners, I am sure that you have noted that all of the salutes and the compliments paid, they are different. As the Commissioner of Police arrived, he got just a fanfare and just the salute from the senior officers. As the Prime Minister came in, he got a general salute. And obviously, when Her Excellency arrives as well, she would be getting the royal salute. I was hoping you were going to join in to tell me what it was.
No, I leave that with you. I leave that with you. You're the man. You're the man for that. You're the man for that. That's why you're here.
Yes. So looking back at previous parades and the excitement associated with it and how the officers would feel as they parade along the streets, I think that is missing. You look forward to hearing the cheers from the River Road and the Fish Market as you go past all the Melville Street area, and as you come into the ground,
right across the Wesley College ground this morning.
Right, and that was missing, just the short march, understanding the limitation and the restriction with COVID-19. And the Prime Minister, as you mentioned, he's used to coming in here at the stadium with the crowd cheering and the flags fluttering and so forth, and that is missing. It is a bittersweet moment.
Let's say it's not physically here. Let's say it's not physically here,
Great.
but it's in a virtual state. And of course, Prime Ministers before Dr. Keith Mitchell, who would have received this salute, we had, of course, the father of our independence, Eric Gary, Herbert Blaise, Ben Jones, Nicholas Brathwaite, George Ignatius Bresan, Mr. Tillman Thomas, and Mr. Nicholas Bradford of the National Democratic Congress. But this is also a very special day for prime ministers, but as the independence of the country, because of the significance of it from or independence from the monarchy, and with the Governor General still signifying the monarch as our head of state, and she receiving the highest salute here today, it really still shows just the order of our democracy and how it works.
And it is also a very proud moment for Governor Generals to make their way onto the parades and to be up front with the troops on parade and walking through and conducting the inspection. We are going to speak a little bit about that when Her Excellency arrives and she's conducting the inspection. But it is one of the things that you look forward to. Your shoes is impeccably shined.
Yes.
Your seams are standing sharp and everything. You look forward to display that kind of a moment
Right.
to Her Excellency or any of the Governor Generals who would appear to conduct the inspection.
Yeah.
Today, it's as we indicated, there are just 5, 6 of the units here on parade. The Special Services Unit.
And they are all just to interject a bit. Are they all armed units of the RGPF?
They are armed units.
Right.
So there is the Special Service Unit.
The Governor General's, here comes Governor General, Dame Cecile Lagrenade. Dame Cecile truly enjoys Independence Day. She spends time when she's inspecting the troops. She stops because she is so well known even before she ascended to the office of Governor General, and she really takes time to talk to people. And whenever she inspects the troops, she takes a lot of time talking to them. What do you think she says to the officers out there? I often wonder.
She asks the officers at times, or the visiting dignitary would ask, where are you from?
Right.
They would comment on your mood of dress,
Okay.
and they will ask you about how you enjoy your profession and all of that. Little questions, and they may just throw out something from anywhere that you have to respond to.
Yeah.
Always generating some level of smile. As we speak, ladies and gentlemen, viewers, listeners, we want to take this to you without having you miss a beat. Here at the National Stadium, our 47th Independence celebration, you are now witnessing the arrival of Her Excellency, the Governor General, Dame Cecile Lagrenade. Her Edika, Brenda, I would want you to comment on Her Excellency's mood of dress. I leave this one up
beautiful.
to you.
I
always look forward to what she's wearing.
Always. She is beautifully dressed this morning in the gold. Of course, it is yellow on there because, of course, gold no normally represent very well. But in the gold colors of her flag, her necklace and her mask representative of all the colors of the national flag. And she's looking so regal, so vibrant, and so beautiful this morning.
Impressive. Her Excellency has ascended the saluting dais. The parade has been called to attention, and she's now receiving the royal salute. And the national anthem is being played as Her Excellency receives the royal salute. We're also hoping, ladies and gentlemen, children all, in the comfort of your homes wherever you are, in recognition of our 47th independence, you can also, I'm hoping that you're also standing, because this is a virtual parade, and we're hoping that you're treating it as though you're here at the National Stadium. So I'll be expecting you to be standing in recognition, in love of your country, our country, Grenada, as the national anthem is being played. So the next word of command is shoulder arms. The parade commander asked the troops to order arms as he would make his way up to Her Excellency to report the state of the parade. He would be saying to her how many platoons, units that are on parade, what formation they're dressed in, and he is going to say to her that they're expecting her to inspect them, and he's going to graciously request her permission to carry on, or for her to first inspect and then to carry on with any other thing, whether it's a small display or otherwise. He needs to request permission of Her Excellency so to do. So people have been wondering, what exactly is the parade commander saying to her?
Let's listen in.
order, the drivers are the order, awaiting the pleasure of your inspection. Excellency, kindly inspect the parade.
And of course, Her Excellency Dame Cécile Lagrenade, GCMG OBE PhD, is about to inspect the parade.
Brenda, can you remember what was Her Excellency's outfit last year? What color she was wearing?
I can't.
Maybe our listeners and viewers would be wondering what. I can recall
She's always impressive.
she was wearing all green last year. And she complemented that into weaving the other colors of red and yellow.
She has done that
This year,
beautifully here today.
yellow is predominant.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a beautiful morning for the corn. It's kind of corn yellow she's wearing. Really, you know, it's mid-morning, kind of like a brunch morning, so to speak. But of course, she's always very elegant, always regal, never overstated. Simplicity is always the ultimate sophistication with Dame Cécile. And here she is.
And very engaging, I must say.
She is.
Very engaging.
That's her personality.
Her Excellency approaches the number 1 unit, the Special Services Unit, under the command of Assistant Superintendent Paul Christopher. The SSU, as you recognize, comprises both male and female. Their outfit is cream, and as I mentioned before, they're also proudly displaying their medals and badges. She now go past the first unit of the regular section of the RGPF, the male section. She has not stopped. Maybe no one has as yet drawn her attention who looks particularly outstanding. She now approaches the female unit of the RGPF.
Interestingly, everyone is masked up as well, and maybe it might be a bit muffled in terms of her speaking with them, and she's probably just wanting to keep her distance a bit. You know, we're always mindful of the times that we currently live in.
So there's a lot to take note of. Mm-hmm. This is a special parade. This is a different occasion. It's a different era. What is also noted is the dressing of the officers. They usually an elbow dressing, but this year, this parade, because of the COVID-19 protocol, they're forced to be further away from each other.
Right.
And that is
Right.
notably observed.
Right. And rightfully so.
She go past Her Majesty's prison, and the final unit, the Cadet Corps. The Cadet Corps, one of our most recent innovations, units that we are proud of, the young men and women who've taken up that regimented level of responsibility that comes with a keen sense of discipline.
We used to be vibrant as before in the 70s and 80s especially, and then it kind of went dormant for a while, and it's great to see it back. And as we are noticing, there are many more girls in the Cadet Corps than males.
Is that a good sign, or?
That's a good sign.
I think it's a good sign. It is a good sign. I don't think I expected less of you.
That's a good sign.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're hoping that you're not missing any of this.
Sure not. It's Sunday morning. It's really one of the things about this Independence Parade. It's probably going to be the biggest parade in terms of viewership of it. Normally, of course, folks get to come to the ground, but wherever Grenadians, Cariconians, Petite Martinicans are in the world today, there are eyes on this, and it's probably thousands and thousands and thousands of eyes. So again, Independence 2021, Grenada turns 47. It's probably going to be the biggest that we've ever had.
We look forward anxiously to 50, but we don't think in terms of viewership. We don't know where COVID-19 is
Yeah,
going.
let's stick with 47 for now.
Stick with 47. So Her Excellency again ascended the saluting dais. The commander walks back. She again will receive a salute. And he's going to request her permission to carry on with other aspect of the parade today. Let's listen in. So listeners and viewers, Her Excellency has graciously consented to a display by the police band.
So we are now about to witness
Is it Superintendent Kanat?
It is Superintendent Kanat.
He is one of the finest police officers ever.
Yes.
I must say that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Very articulate. He's very engaging.
Yeah. And it's great to see him ascend in the ranks.
So he's called the word of command, bands and drums, troop. So he's asked the remainder of the parade to stand at ease. And this year, ladies and gentlemen, rather than having one officer carry the mace, we're having now two officers. Constable
McVean, and it looks like McVean and Langdon.
And Langdon.
Yeah, I'm very familiar
Correct,
with
yes.
them. Yeah, that's Constable
That's
Lyndon
Langdon,
Langdon,
yes.
and Constable McVean is right here.
So Brenda, you see how well you compliment us on the team. You know the police officers, you understand the parade, which is really a compliment to you as well.
Yeah, I've done a lot with the Royal Grenada Police Band in terms of their concerts and so, and one of the ways of giving back in terms of national service is, working along with the police for your various activities. So that's why I probably am aware of some of the police officers. And it's really, really great to see them here on parade grounds today. Sharp as ever.
Always. Maybe as an added innovation, we could probably in future incorporate the applause and images and so on, because it can bring some added.
Right. But I kid you not, wherever Grenadians are, they will applaud, they will say yes.
Yes.
They will do all the things because,
Right.
we are not a muted people. We're lively, we're colorful, and on a day like today, we just love Grenada, and we put everything else just aside for a moment.
Band just stepped from slow time into quick time, ushering a different level of display.
Recognize what they're playing?
There we see some
It is a
coordination
folk
of the
song.
drills.
Come let me shake your hands.
Come let me hold your
Come
hand.
let me hold your hands. Because
It's beautiful.
restricted, but obviously not limited.
Absolutely.
Can you imagine the crowd being here on a day like today, having this kind of a display?
Yeah, and the popular Jerusalema.
Yes,
This Sunday,
of course.
Jerusalema is a play.
There you have it, ladies and
It's a
gentlemen.
prayer, rather.
Demonstrating that not only can they play lovely music, but also that they can dance well to their music.
Wherever you are, viewers, listeners, you can join in with the police band for the Jerusalem. Wonderful display.
Yeah, man, they have it, they have it.
Could you imagine that all of National Stadium joining in with the police band here for
I'm
Jerusalem?
sure they are, I'm
I
sure
sure-
they are. I'm sure they are at home, at their offices, wherever they are doing it.
You can see the inclusion of one of our very prominent local produce, the bananas. Of course, that's very creative to include
That's a bunch of,
Bunch of
what we
bananas.
produce naturally.
Ah,
yeah, it's not really a bunch of, but it's a hand of
a
bananas.
hand of bananas. You
Yes.
like rock tree.
It seems so. What are they going to do with it, you think?
Sure they have it for breakfast after.
What is the significance of the banana?
Our agriculture,
Keep your eyes glued to them, ladies and gentlemen.
the richness of who we are. Finest soil in the world.
And,
Grow the best.
I think
This is much better seen than
giving
been told
thanks.
about.
It can also represent giving thanks to the Almighty for
Yes.
us having bread on our table.
Correct.
Banana representing bread, so
Absolutely.
representing
Food. Yeah.
So we're witnessing the exchanging of the maize by the two bears.
I'm hoping that they would share the bananas, break them, and everyone has a portion. And maybe remove their mask and show us.
But probably they have a whole bunch at the back, but they've just brought it a hat, right? Probably. You know they like to cook it.
And we are now nearing the end of a wonderful display by the police band.
That was an awesome touch. And of course, Jerusalema coming very popular one with the Afro beats. And really and truly, Jerusalema, the lyrics, is
Yeah.
really a prayer.
Yes,
it's
it
an
is.
ode of thanksgiving and you know, just being grateful for all that we have. So on this 47th anniversary of our independence, Jerusalema, the gift, you know, of course, it's a really fitting
Display.
tribute there,
Yes.
yeah.
And I think the tribute as well, it's giving thanks, the mere fact that we are not in a worse off position than many of our neighbors.
Well, we can be even here to
And
do this.
That's correct. So
Yeah.
we need to give thanks having a pandemic with one associated death, where there are numbers, scores of deaths around us, around the world as a matter of fact. It is just quite fitting for this kind of a tribute, giving thanks to the Almighty
Absolutely.
for food on our table, for the breath of life, and being able to perform to a virtual audience, virtual spectatorship, wherever they are, that we are alive, we are grateful, we are thankful, and in the midst of, or in the absence of many, we provide little that we can still be satisfied
Absolutely. And you know, it's just a blessed land. I don't know about you, but during this period, I have seen more fruits and vegetables, maybe because we have more time to notice, but it's just that the land continues to bear, just to be, you know, continue to give us food and give us life, so to speak. And that is a lot to be thankful for as well.
with. Right. So for
Ladies and gentlemen,
47,
this is the time at which we would
as
ask
you
to
mentioned when we started this
give a
coverage,
lovely round of applause
that we
in
started
appreciation
with a
for
state of
wonderful
emergency,
display
getting our independence. Here we
by
are,
the
47
police
years
band.
later. We are in a state of emergency, and we are still able to celebrate. For this, we are
Absolutely.
grateful. So the units are called to attention. They're asked to order arms. They're asked to make a right turn. and they are going to do a quick march. That's the number 1 unit, the Special Services Unit.
We've just witnessed the commencement of the drill display.
In the position they are, that position of weapon drill is called the recover arms position. So they are displaying with the weapons, the M16 rifles, in the recover arms position. As to what they're displaying, I am inviting you to view keenly and come up with your own interpretation as to what they are displaying. I'm sure we will be having the responses.
Starting to see it already.
On Facebook. What are you recognizing, Brenda?
I am not going to spoil
No, you can't
it.
sell it.
I recognize it.
Very, very conspicuous.
Beautiful.
Elegantly displayed.
47. Let's turn around. The drone is going around. Oh God, isn't
47.
technology beautiful?
It is really, really, really beautiful.
And we do good with it,
And-
like we're doing this morning.
And everyone displayed before you, wherever you are in the world,
you are in the world.
47 years displayed by members of the Special Services Unit here at the National Stadium, the Royal Grenada Police Force, led by Commissioner Edwin Martin, our parade commander, Superintendent Randy Connaught. It is a proud moment.
It is.
47 years. Every one of you, every one of us, we are happy, we are proud to be part of this history, celebrating a military parade displayed here virtually, and you still feel as though you've not missed anything.
No, it's gorgeous. It's actually a little chilling, you know?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So you find me quiet.
Yes.
I'm just taking the time
And you're
to soak in
soaking-
the
soaking.
moment. Yeah.
You will notice the rifles forming the figures 4 and 7.
Ever conscious of God, we aspire, build, and advance as one people. Let us always, always, on this Independence Day 2021 and moving forward, remember that. Stay safe, Grenada, Carriacou, Pity, Martinique. We salute you. So says the banner of the RGPF. Well done.
So the parade is once again called to attention, and they're asked by the commander to shoulder arms.
It's great. It's
Stay
great.
safe.
Yeah, it's a great tribute. Great message.
They're asked to present arms. They're asked to shoulder arms in recognition and appreciation for the inspection, presence, gracious presence of Her Excellency, the guest of honor.
So the platoons will return and retrieve their rifles.
So, what was not recognized or missed was that the officers did leave their weapons in the 47 position, and I think to most people they thought it was something that was drawn on the carpet. And I held this level of suspense until they are now returning to recover their weapons.
Brilliant.
So this was not a marking that was placed there. That was actually 47, a display with the rifle, M16's rifle, carried by the Royal Grenada Police Force, Unit 1, the SSU, and the Coast Guard or Marine
That
unit.
is so sharp, and the
That is
precision in that. Yeah, that is wonderful.
47 formed by the
Yeah, because from the drone shots, it can appear as they were markers, but they were actually the
The rifles that were left
rifles.
there. And that is a bit of the suspense that was created for
Oh, I see.
our viewers.
Nice.
And I think with the drone technology, it just
Beautiful.
helped to bring that out.
Surely did. Special commendations to
Yes,
the
they are
SSU,
returning to their position, yes.
Special Services Unit of the RGPF. The police band, I mean, how much can we say? How much more can we say about just how well they play, how melodious, how synchronized, just how sharp they are?
Would I be biased if I say it's the best playing band in the land? Or
I don't think you will. Lots of people say it.
yes, people say that.
Well, it's one thing to say it, but when it's proven time and time and time again, of course, it becomes fact.
Yes. One of the you would recognize that people may be wondering, how do the officers know when they need to come to a halt with the beat of the drum? You can recognize that the beat of the drums actually changes. So they all asked us to stand at ease at the order arms. And Her Excellency descends the salute in dies. The Chief of Protocol. She's accompanied by Mr. Adrian
Joseph, the
Joseph.
Chief of Protocol.
Yes.
The Commissioner is on her right. Commissioner Edwin Martin. Prime Minister also stood and welcomed her.
And we're moving to the stage where there's going to be a tribute to the nation. They're asked to shoulder arms. They will march in review order. One, two. They all march forward. And the word of command, the royal salute, is given. Present arms as the national flag is unfurled and will be hoisted.
We stand for the national
As
anthem.
the national anthem is being played and sung
Also be
here at the
prepared
National Stadium.
for some
The
very loud
national
blast.
flag is being hoisted, and very symbolic recognition and appreciation for Grenada's 47th birthday. All other flags stand subordinate to the national flag. The 21 gun salute, and it goes at 3 levels of 7. And we thank you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, viewers, listeners, followers, wherever you are, that every one of you within the comforts of your own environment, wherever you are, stand in recognition of our 47th independence celebration. Around the ground, the persons who are here are all standing, and I am imagining that where you are, for love of country, for respect of country, you're also standing to attention. As the gun salutes, they go forth, symbolizing in recognition, appreciating Grenada, an expression of love and patriotism on this 47 years celebrating under trying circumstances in the midst of a pandemic. Grenada again is showing some sense of resilience and fortitude, that despite the odds, we are determined as a nation to stand and display what we are made of. It's the final of 21 gun salute to be delivered as the national flag is being hoisted to its extreme. We're saying happy birthday, Grenada. And I'm hoping and would not expect less of you, that those of you who are within the comfort of your homes would invite your children as well. You have invited your children to sit around your computers, to sit around your television screens, recognizing Grenada's independence, celebrating with us, wearing your national colors. You have them on your tables, outside your doors, inside of your house, and your children as well on this our 47th anniversary. You're recognizing that even within the comfort of your home, as we bring you the virtual military parade here at the National Stadium. The parade is asked to order arms as the tribute in recognition of Grenada's 47th independence. We await a prayer for the nation, and then I'm sure the military parade also will show some other level of display and salute to Grenada.
We are expected to witness the 3 cheers to the nation.
So the word of command is officers will prepare to remove headdress, and the hands automatically goes onto the heads, remove the headdress, and they're asked to give 3 cheers to the nation. Hip, hip, hip. And I'm hoping within the comfort of your viewing places that you would do the same. Hip, hip, hip to Grenada. So they're asked now to remove or to replace headgear. I beg your pardon. So the officers are replacing the headgears.
Following this, the parade will stand at ease, and then we'll have the prayer of dedication to our nation.
There you, with the rolling of the drums, the officers replace the headgear and they stand back to attention.
In the name of God,
and
we pray.
Now we have a prayer for the nation.
Lord, you have been our dwelling place.
And this prayer is led by Reverend Vonnie James.
Before the mountains were brought forth, or ever you were formed the earth, from everlasting to everlasting, you are God. And in this 47th anniversary of Grenada independence, we declare, blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord. And yet, God, we confess that as a nation, we have sinned against you by making choices that have often hurt and harm and create hopeless in our people and hindered and handicap our nation for rebuilding together a safer and more resilient nation in these challenging times. And so as we engage in those ABCs, we confess our shortcomings to you. As a nation, we have proudly used faith as a tool of oppression instead of liberation. We have disrespected law and order and blindly call our actions fight for liberty and justice. We have turned children from God's gift to gratifying sexual objects and even shed their innocent blood. We have devised creatively wicked ways to assault mostly women and children. We have abused the gift of social media, acting instead as false witnesses who speak lies against each other. In the name of politics, we have sown discord among ourselves. And through the guise of patriotism, we even boast of love for Grenada. Yet in eagerness and without restraint, we lambaste our land, we litter it, and in a general way in our work ethics, we are lazy towards building it. Oh Lord, have mercy on us. Your scripture assures us, though, that if we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive us of our sins and to save us from all unrighteousness. We pause at this point. Even as we are about to get into this prayer of rededication, we pause to recognize the passing of the Honorable Elvin Nimrod, a son of our very soil, Grenada, who served the House of Representatives of Grenada and has in the past served as the Minister for Legal Affairs, Labor, Local Government, Carriacou and Petite Martinique Affairs, International Trade, and has served our country as Attorney General. May God bring peace to his family and loved ones, and may his soul rest in peace. Now we have confessed our sins, and is assured of your pardon, we lift our nation once again to you, O God. Ever conscious of God, we aspire, build, and advance as one people. In the name of God, we rededicate our nation, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique back to you. Lord, take this nation, our arts and entertainment, our economics, our education, our family, government, media, and religion, and lead it back by your power and presence and preeminence, that you will have preeminence over our country and in the lives of our people. May our Governor General, Prime Minister, Member of Parliament and Government, Commissioner of Police, civil servants, bring glory and honor to your name as they take lead in building our nation. But we say thanks. We say thanks, God, for our nation. We say thank you for being the God of our nation. We say thank you for allowing us to freely worship in Grenada. We say thank you for political stability and the peace that you have over our islands. We say thank you for sharing your wisdom with our medical professionals. We say thank you for blessing our Minister of Health and his team with the skills to maneuver around the attacks of COVID-19. Thank you for giving us clean air to breathe, fertile soil for agriculture and farming, a marine space for fishing and harvesting seafood. Thank you for our hardworking teachers and educators. Thank you, God, for the resources that you provided for us to take care of our poor and powerless in this country. Jehovah God, the Lord who provides, pour out your spirit upon our nation. Give the Prime Minister wisdom to lead this nation, that in spite of COVID-19, its negative impact on our country, with faith and courage, together we shall aspire, build, advance as one people, one family. God bless our nation so that where there are illnesses, bring your healing touch. Where there is fear, strengthen us with the knowledge of your presence. Where there is uncertainty, build us up in faith. Where there is dishonesty, lead us in truth. And where there is discord among us, O Lord, may we know the harmony of your love, that now we can begin rebuilding together a safer and more resilient nation in these challenging times. Amen and amen.
The parade will now present arms.
Word, soon.
Ordination just delivered by Reverend Fonnie James.
Shoulder.
The parade has been called to attention, shoulder arms, by the parade commander.
Royal salute. Present.
They're asked to give a royal salute, and the national anthem is being played again. All flags around the ground are now being hoisted after the national flag was hoisted previously in recognition of the 47th anniversary of our independence. And you realize that you would recognize, and we have seen, that that was the only flag at the time that was hoisted. The flag is now lowered while all of the other flags been hoisted. The Royal Grenada Police Force, Her Excellency, and the national flag as the national anthem is being played. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, for standing in recognition of our national anthem. So the troops are asked to order arms. As we wait, I'm sure there would be a very short address by the Honorable Prime Minister. The officers are on parade, the units are asked to stand at ease.
The official party return to their respective seats. We await the address to the nation by the Honorable Prime Minister.
As the units displayed before you on screen, the Special Services Unit from left to right, the male unit, the female unit, the Grenada Coast Guard, Her Majesty's Prisons, and the Cadet Corps. Our parade commander for the 47th anniversary of our independence, Superintendent Randy Cannott. Her Excellency graciously
Fellow Grenadians at home and abroad,
conducted an
Grenadians,
inspection of the parade,
and Pity Martinican.
and now
As
we await
the
the
47th
national
anniversary
address
of our nation's
by our
independence.
Prime Minister, the Honorable
Though
Dr.
confined to physical
Mitchell.
spaces, challenged in many ways by a pandemic, our spirit remains as vibrant as the colors of our national flag. The red, which stands for our courage and vitality, gold for wisdom and warmth, and the green for vegetation and agriculture, which engulf these beautiful three islands, one nation. Happy independence. It is an honor to stand here today charged with the responsibility to introduce the next speaker.
So our own Brenda
The
Batiste,
Prime Minister, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith
entrusted
Claudius
with the
Mitchell,
responsibility
was
of
born to
introducing the
Dowlin
Prime
and
Minister.
Catherine Mitchell in Brazan, St. George. He received his primary education at the Happy Hill RC School and the J.W. Fletcher Memorial School. He went on to the Presentation Brothers College, then on to the University of the West Indies, Caville campus, where he gained a Bachelor of Science degree in Mathematics and Chemistry in 1971, followed by a master's degree from Howard University in 1975, and a doctorate in Mathematics and Statistics from American University in 1979. As a young adult, Dr. Mitchell taught at the Presentation Brothers College, his alma mater, and was also a mathematics professor at Howard University. He also started his own consultant firm in Washington, D.C., and provided consultancy services to many government departments and private corporations in the United States. In 1984, Dr. Mitchell was elected Member of Parliament for St. George Northwest and has held the seat in each subsequent election since then. He was elected political leader of the New National Party, NNP, in 1989. In 1995, Dr. Mitchell successfully led the party to victory in general elections, winning 8 of the 15 seats in the House of Representatives. He assumed office as Prime Minister on June 22nd of that year. Election victories in 1999, 2003, 2013, and 2018, including an unprecedented sweep of the polls on 3 occasions, mean that Dr. Mitchell is currently serving as Prime Minister for the 5th time. Dr. Mitchell is also the Minister of National Security, Public Administration, Youth Development, Home Affairs, Information and Communications Technology, and Disaster Management. Last December, Dr. Mitchell celebrated his 36th anniversary as an elected parliamentarian. In addition to his domestic responsibilities, Dr. Mitchell has served in various capacities at the regional and international level, including Chairman of the Caribbean Community, CARICOM, Chairman of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, the OECS, Chairman of the Monetary Council of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union, the ECCU, Chairman of the Board of Governors of the Caribbean Development Bank, CDB, Chairman of the Ministerial Council Association of Caribbean States, Chairman of the World Bank Small States Forum. Dr. Mitchell is lead head for science and technology in the CARICOM Quasi-Cabinet and is currently president of SIDS-DOC, serving an extended term by special request. He is also one of the co-commissioners of the Global Commission for Adaptation. Aside from being a long-serving parliamentarian, Dr. Mitchell is an avid cricket fan who has also played the game. In fact, he was a member of Grenada's cricket team in the 1960s and 1970s and also served as captain of the team. Ladies and gentlemen, Grenadians everywhere, to address you on the occasion of our 47th anniversary of independence, I present our Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Dr. Keith Claudius Mitchell.
Where that was an introduction of the Prime Minister delivered by our very own Brenda Batiste. And our Prime Minister, I'm sure it's a very, very moving, proud moment for him, one of the longest serving politicians of our time in our region. And I'm sure many would attest that he is served with great levels of distinction. I'm sure Grenada is proud of its own son, one who has seen Grenada through many difficult times.
Chairperson,
Prime Minister.
His Excellency, Your Excellency, the Governor General, D.L. Cecil Laganard, our Commission Minister of Culture, our Commissioner of Police, distinguished brothers and sisters present here, members of the press, fellow Grenadians all. Before I begin this unique address this morning, let me express my heartfelt condolences to the family of the late Elvin Nimrod, who bid us farewell yesterday morning around 10 a.m. I know our sisters and brothers in Carriacou and Petite Martinique are particularly aggrieved by his passing. Brother Nimrod gave human services to our beloved country, holding various portfolios in government and serving as a member of parliament for over 2 decades. In addition to Reverend James's comments about his various responsibilities, he also served as Deputy Prime Minister for about 7 years in the government. Therefore, sisters and brothers, I beg your indulgence to join me wherever you are in observing a special minute of silence for the service on the passing of Elvin Nimrod. May he rest in eternal peace. Sisters and brothers, the celebration of Grenada's 47th anniversary of independence comes in the midst of a very challenging period for the global community and, of course, for our country. This milestone, though remarkable, is a bittersweet moment. Bittersweet because while we are thankful for God's blessings and the significant progress our country has made, we are doing so devoid of that usual spirit of togetherness and camaraderie that has been the norm over those 47 years. I sincerely miss your beautiful faces before me, the young and the old, all aglow with excitement, expectation, promise, and indeed hope. As I stand here looking at the empty seats that would normally be filled with thousands of our people, flamboyantly dressed in our national colors, I cannot help but reminisce on the many times that we shared in the same space, united in our patriotism, celebrating the growth and development of our beautiful nation. Today, sisters and brothers, we are no less patriotic because we remain united in purpose, even as we celebrate in our own private spaces. In fact, by adhering to the protocols and maintaining physical distance, we are demonstrating an even greater level of patriotism because we are making the necessary sacrifices now that will give our country and our fellow nationals a true chance at surviving the ravages of this pandemic, which has upended the life as we know it. And so, in our new normal, we adapt, we adjust, and we keep forging ahead as one people, one family. My friends, as one who strives on interaction with people, I tell you that this has been one of the most difficult periods for me personally in my entire life. I'm well aware that the extended period of restrictions is also difficult for many of you, particularly your young brothers and sisters. Because as human beings, we are naturally social creatures. And as such, we tend to gravitate towards each other in joy and in sorrow, in sickness and in health, in good times and bad times. However, the reality is that this pandemic calls for us to be more responsible beings, to take actions that are contrary to our natural instincts, but which have become necessary to help curb the spread of COVID-19. Therefore, sisters and brothers, today, I commend most of you for your compliance thus far. And I also encourage everyone to continue adhering to the protocols as the fight against this dreaded disease is far from over. We cannot let our guard down. Understandably, in recent months, the government's focus has been predominantly on the threat of COVID-19 pandemic. The implications for the health of our people, the resultant economic fallout, and the psychosocial impact on the entire population. Overall, the pandemic has had an unprecedented impact on life as we know it. It has decimated the tourism industry and slowed the pace of world trade. It has halted and in many cases reversed economic growth. But most of all, it has claimed the lives of so many of our brothers and sisters in the diaspora. Therefore, even as we celebrate this milestone today, let us all offer a silent prayer for dearly departed, especially those whose final moments had to be spent away from the precious circle of loved ones. Sisters and brothers, even as we face this monstrous challenge, it is imperative that we take stock of where we are as a country, as a people, as a small player on the enormous global stage. There is no question about the significant strides we have made. But the reality is, there is so much left to be done. Guided by the targets and milestones set out in our 15-year National Sustainable Development Plan, government envisions a future of hope, a future of targeted interventions that collectively seek to further propel development, a future where dreams and aspirations become the reality of the foundation that is laid for the generations to come. That future of hope is partially predicated on the possibilities that now abound with the recent repurchase of the majority shares in the island's lone electricity company, Grenlec. Sisters and brothers, since March 2020, our attention has been focused on fighting this coronavirus. But at the same time, we are still marching resolutely on to this 47th anniversary of independence. Another milestone in the development of our beautiful country. Let us take a moment to appreciate that fact. It is said Gratitude determines altitude. Therefore, as we push forward with our developmental agenda, we must pause periodically along the way and reflect on our achievements, using them as motivation to continue the journey. Not the list of which has been the start of the St. George's University that has played an enormous part in the development of our country over the years. The building of the international airport has been another major milestone, cannot be forgotten. The advancement in education and social development, the bringing of potable water throughout the length and breadth of the country, and the achievement of electricity services to so many villages in such a period of time. In other words, the quality of life for our people continue to move forward. Sisters and brothers, government focus in 2021 will be on protecting the health and well-being of our people and fostering economic recovery. Putting our people back to work is an important part of this process. Many private and public sector projects will come on stream this year. Government recognizes the construction sector as the one that will spearhead the recovery effort. And we anticipate these projects providing jobs for hundreds or even thousands of Grenadians, Caraconians, and Petit Martinicans, and helping, therefore, to stimulate the local economy. 3 major hotel projects are underway at Mount Hartmont, St. David's, and St. Patrick's, with a 4th anticipated to follow soon. And the developers have all expressed an interest and moving forward to provide training to young Grenadians to prepare them for the jobs when the hotels become operational. Plans like these align perfectly with the concerted efforts being made by government to empower our young people and to find opportunities to transition out of the various programs facilitated by government. In addition, the timing of these projects and their estimated completion dates mean that Grenada will be better positioned when the tourism sector begins to ascend its post-COVID trajectory. The pace of recovery, my sisters and brothers, and a return to normal will depend largely on the acquisition and the successful rollout of COVID-19 vaccines. Government is therefore moving aggressively in collaboration with the relevant stakeholders to procure COVID-19 vaccines soon. We know there are mixed reactions to the efficacy of the various vaccines on the market, but we are relying on the guidance of the Pan American Health Organization. And of course, as a believer in science, we will be selecting our choice of vaccines that will protect us. My friends, I will be one of the first person in line to receive a vaccine when it becomes available. This pandemic, sisters and brothers, has caused many things to be put on hold. But the education of our nation's children must continue. Government is therefore vigorously pursuing e-learning. We have equipped all our secondary school students and teachers with devices to facilitate e-learning. And we are now moving similarly to equip students at the primary level. These initiatives will cost the taxpayers millions of dollars that was never planned for. And therefore all of us must take note. There is so much to be optimistic about, sisters and brothers, as we envisage Grenada's future. But we can only get there by taking deliberate actions that will safeguard the country and all our people. We have repeatedly acknowledged the widespread impact of this pandemic, which is requiring governments all over the world to lead the charge on multiple fronts. As you know, leadership is not an easy job. And the challenge of this disease has made it even more difficult. Nevertheless, in partnership with our stakeholders and you, the people of this beautiful land, we keep pressing on. The hardship for various sectors of the population continues unabated, leaving many to seek some form of relief from government and from friends and family at home and abroad. Since this pandemic started, and over the past few months in particular, I have been personally inundated with requests for assistance through calls, text messages, and emails. Sisters and brothers, we must continue to remember the pain out there is real. Some people have been without jobs for almost a year. In the tourism sector alone, that number has been over 2,000 persons. It's real. Can we help them all? I ask. It may not be possible, but we still must try. I've always prided myself on being able to sleep comfortably. But the suffering of our people now keeps me up at night. The burden is great, maybe even overwhelming. But I'm committed to doing everything possible to ease the suffering of every single Grenadian, Caricunian, and Petit Martinican. Sisters and brothers, unprecedented times necessitates strategic, innovative, and out-of-the-box thinking to find solutions that will soothe the desperate cries of those among us who simply have no means of helping themselves right now. We all must remember them and do what we can to help. Sisters and brothers, it is for this reason I plan to present a proposal to our social partners and by implication the country for the creation of a social fund that will be used to help the most vulnerable in our society. The concept is that every one of us who is working will contribute to this fund. I would lead by example, contributing a portion far above anyone else of my salary every month to help those in need. And I'll be encouraging my cabinet colleagues to do the same. Similarly, I would be encouraging everyone who's able to make a contribution to do so. Sisters and brothers, we are not going to Parliament to mandate anything. Our conscience should be our mandate. It is simply a suggestion made in trying to come up with creative ways to help those who are in need. Remember, sisters and brothers, we are a Christian society after all. And we are called upon to be our brother's keeper. In John 3, verses 17 to 18, and I quote, "If anyone has material possessions and sees a brother or sister in need, but has no pity on them, how can the love of God be in that person? Dear children, let us not love with words or speech, but with actions and in truth." Unquote. My friends, let us all heed the word of the Lord and show compassion to a fellow countrymen. I assure you, apart from our individual donations, if this fund succeed in being started as I wish, members of government will have no involvement in implementing this fund. The way I envision it, the social partners will establish an independent committee to manage and disburse these funds acquired through this effort. Any beneficiary of this initiative must be someone with justifiable need. It will be verified. And there are many who fit that category. We look around us. Farmers are hurting. Fishermen are hurting. Workers in hotels are hurting badly. Restaurant owners and bars, they are hurting. Tourism and market vendors are hurting. Taxi drivers, water taxi operators, they are hurting. Tour operators and tour guides and other industry providers, including operators of marine-based business, they are all hurting. Liat workers who have provided years of human service to Liat, who have now literally not operating and are left at home for months without a penny. And other workers involved in the aviation industry. hairdressers, barbers, entertainers, school-based vendors, shopkeepers, small travel agencies, other business owners, property owners. The list goes on and on. They are all hurting. Sisters and brothers, the fund that we wish to establish will never be enough to meet the pain, as I just listed so many people out there. We are also in discussion with the regional and international community to get additional funds to complement the initiative that I just talked about. Sisters and brothers, if you are overwhelmed by the few categories identified here today, imagine how I feel on a daily basis, hearing the cries of so many people. I've never had that in my 36 years of involvement in government. The way I see it is that I can either be so overwhelmed and become powerless to help, or I can use the cries as motivation to find solutions. I opt for the latter, and all of us must do so. Making a difference in the life of one person may seem insignificant in the grand scheme of things, but to that person, it represents a much needed lifeline at a time when all seems lost. We can all, sisters and brothers, be that lifeline to a brother and a sister in need. The reality of this situation, sisters and brothers, facing us now is that while some are forced to make something out of nothing, others are demanding more and more. Those of us who are earning serious salaries must understand it's our time now, despite all the circumstances. We must reach out to those who have nothing. This is what we were told as a Christian nation. Love your neighbor as yourself. Sisters and brothers, the battle is long and clearly quite daunting. But I am confident that we will win this battle. The key in winning this battle is collaboration and working together. A collective effort, hand in hand, towards that common objective. We unite and we persevere, confident that the challenges of today will give way to a brighter tomorrow. Our celebration of this national milestone, therefore, today, is a reminder that good things are still happening despite COVID-19. Sisters and brothers, therefore, in closing, I pray that God continues to bless these beautiful islands of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique, and our people, all our people too. I encourage you, sisters and brothers, I encourage you to protect yourselves. Do not take this pandemic for granted. Do not believe that it cannot happen to you. Wear your masks. Maintain your physical distance. Avoid large social gatherings. And most of all, my fellow Grenadians, Caraconians, Peter Martinicans, stay safe. I love you all. I therefore wish every one of you, despite the present condition and atmosphere, happy independence to all. I thank you.
We've just witnessed and listened to a very timely, very sterling remarks from Honorable Prime Minister. And I noted very clearly some of the factors mentioned. One of the key he did say in closing remarks that one of the keys to achieving our objectives is that of collaboration, working together.
Absolutely.
And as he said, just before he descended, he did make the appeal for us to be conscious of the times in which we are living. The mere fact that we are in a pandemic condition, a state of emergency, and the need for us to be all safe. And he did make that charge very, very clearly that we need to be COVID-19 compliant.
I found elements of the speech really did address, because in an independence message, what you really want to gain is a historical perspective and where the country is going. And in 2021, it must have been a little, challenging for him, but he did encapsulate a lot of our legacy. All the things, the road Grenada has traveled over the 47 years, highlighting some of the infrastructural and developments or like the international airport and so on, and even talked about the rural, the water project, the electrification, and all of that. But we'll get back to his message in a few, as Dame Cecile is getting ready for her departure.
So, viewers, listeners, we are now witnessing the departure in reverse order for Excellency the Governor General of Grenada, who last appeared at the National Stadium, is first to leave, and she has ascended the dais, now receiving the royal salute. Again, in recognition, in appreciation, as a mark of respect for the 47th birthday of our beautiful nation, I am sure within the confines of your home, within the diaspora and everywhere else, that you are now standing to our independence, or our national anthem. And that in itself shows the tenacity, the resilience, the love for country. And I can just, as I'm witnessing the few persons around here standing to attention, I am imagining and creating that very, very vivid and spectacular image of persons around Grenada, around the diaspora, around the world, clad in the national colors, standing in recognition of our nation's birthday, represented here at the National Stadium with a wonderful virtual military parade. So the parade commander, Superintendent Randy Connaught, salutes, give the royal salute to Her Excellency. She has just descended and will make her departure.
So around comes her convoy riders out front, and we are witnessing, ladies and gentlemen, the departure from the 47th Independence Anniversary Celebrations Military Parade, the departure of Her Excellency Dame Cecile La Grenade, GCMG, OBE, PhD.
And again, she is being taken off in two white vehicles. We can see them here. That one is a BMW as well, a white BMW, is it? And the theme of the escort
Thank you very
seems to
much.
be
You may
I see the logo on the rim of the tires.
You
So
did
yeah,
see
I
that
know the
one.
BMW logo. Yeah, I did tell you, I mean, I have no problems admitting very illiterate when it comes to a vehicle. Hear me, look at car, look at Jeep, look at bus.
Yes. My children are all excited about
Governor General will be
vehicles and
followed
cars, and
by
they drew me into it as
Honorable
well. So,
Prime Minister.
by reason of my family,
I see.
I am connected to vehicles as well.
Interesting. And as you mentioned, Superintendent McIntyre, in reverse order, the departures are happening, and Her Excellency is just departed, and we now about to witness the departure of the Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Dr. Keith Mitchell.
Let us also show respect to the Prime Minister as he departs.
So the parade have been asked to stand to attention, shoulder arms. The Prime Minister ascends the dais, and he gets a general salute. So the word of command is shoulder arms, followed by order arms, as the Prime Minister would turn, I think, slightly to makes a left incline, and he descends the saluting dais. What is also outstanding is the colors. He's wearing a red mask.
Did you see his socks?
I did not, unfortunately. Red tie, red face mask, and his red face mask is
you can see a bit of it
conspicuously
now.
marked, very
Yes,
clearly
the
marked.
socks very
46th year of
Indeed,
independence
indeed,
appreciation.
indeed.
Very, very, very
Looking
colorful.
very sharp, looking
Yes.
very sharp. Seemed very pensive this morning.
Yes.
I mean, we did say earlier, I guess it was bittersweet, with the of course, the death of one of his closest friends and comrades politically, Mr. Elvin G. Nimrod. And of course, facing the nation in this very, very difficult time on our 47th. I guess when he looked into the seats of the National Stadium and saw that it was empty this morning and stood there and gave an address, another set of reality really, really hit.
Yes.
And for all we feel, and no matter where we are in terms of our politics, we oftentimes, folks who are leading like that, we really have to extend some sort of empathy and really wish them well and pray for their strength and their wisdom and tenacity, because at the end of the day, they're leading us.
Right.
Yeah.
And the Prime Minister did not miss the moment
No,
to
he
show his condolence and recognition of his country.
He did not. He was very, very somber,
Yes.
very sober, very reflective this morning, and gave some direction as well to where we are heading. One of the best things that came out was really, him highlighting. Because normally, you see leaders as really insurmountable figures. But here he was this morning saying that for the first time, his sleep has been interrupted.
Yes.
It is so difficult for him. But, let's get the departure of our commissioner.
Edwin Martin is now on the dais receiving the fanfare, the final salute here at the National Stadium to 3 dignitaries that appeared. Her Excellency Dame Cicely Lagranade, the Honorable Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell, and Edwin Martin, Commissioner of Police. And this time we do not have an acting commissioner.
We don't. This is our
a full
commissioner.
commissioner.
And we must say, we must pay homage to all the commissioners who came before. I think when we highlighted commissioners earlier, we missed one of my favorite. I love to see him on parade, Commissioner Nestor Ogilvie. He was just such a towering person on the parades. And probably because of his military background, he was just really, the parades were really, there was something special about them. He wasn't a fanfare person. He was parade,
Yes.
military parade. And so, yeah, we missed him and we spoke about commissioners earlier. But indeed, it is one of the greatest charge of any commissioner of police on this Independence Day. So as his lone vehicle come around with his outrider, Commissioner Edwin Martin is getting ready to depart parade grounds for the national celebrations of the 47th anniversary of our independence, the military parade.
Great. And I really want to commend the officers of the RGPF
Oh, yes.
who've appeared here, and
Oh,
they've
yes.
all been very
Observed today.
professional,
Yes,
very astute,
very,
very
very,
militant
very.
in their approach
What is,
to everything.
I mean, did we missed the numbers? Not really. The spirit was just so vibrant and it was just clear. And when I talk about numbers, I talk about the platoons.
Yes.
Because they are sized down and they are also separated in terms of space. So they're not too close to each other. But as the professionalism, the dedication to duty and service, I mean, just from the way they appear in their uniforms, their whole mood, just in line with everything, not missing a beat. We
Right.
must say hearty congratulations to them.
Congrats.
The men and women of the Royal Grenada Police Force. So really, Independence Day, we really see the finest of the RGPF and really who they are and what they represent.
It really brings out that reflection and, as you mentioned, that representation. What we are witnessing now is the parade 2IC, or what is called the adjutant, Assistant Superintendent Holly George. He goes up to the parade commander, Superintendent Randy Cannot. He salutes with the sword, obviously, and the commander is handing over the parade to his adjutant, or his 2IC. And on the regular, normal condition, they would be marching off from the stadium onto the bridge, the Green Bridge, onto Melville Street, and will dismiss just outside the old police barrack. This will not be the case,
No.
understanding that we are operating on the state of emergency,
So we express our commendation
limitations and restrictions,
and
and so
appreciation to
we have to
Superintendent
comply. And just as
Parade
Prime
Commander,
Minister requested of us, we are
ASP
leaders
George,
of the process, and therefore we have to
Adjutant.
first and foremost be the example.
They
of
will
what
be
we want to
dismissed
see.
just where they started. That's outside the Wesley College grounds.
They are shouldering arms, and it is very. They are asked to move to the right in trees, and they would right turn. The parade commanders, the adjutant, and the various unit
Parade is
commanders will
preparing
take their
for the
respective places
march off.
in front of and rear of the platoons, and they would march off from this arena, and I'm sure they'll be going off to where they assembled, just outside of the National Stadium, where they will be dismissed.
Yes, at the Wesley College grounds.
Yes.
Our appreciation also to
The units
the various
for
platoon
viewers,
commanders,
listeners, those of you right out there within the diaspora, United Kingdom, Canada, the United States, various elements, various service groups and interest organizations witnessing this wonderful celebration, military parade here at the National
everyone
Stadium. The men and women
who
of
has
the
in any way
RGPF supporting our ancillary
to
cadet corps as
parade
well.
the
They are marching up
success
from this
that
wonderful facilities here in recognition, in celebration of Grenada's 47th anniversary.
taking the eyes right.
The parade commander is receiving an eyes right from the units on display here as they go past. The Special Services Unit led by Assistant Superintendent Christopher, the male unit of the regular arm of the RGPF led by Assistant Superintendent Dexter Richards, and they are marching past. And as you can imagine, as you can see for yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, very militant, very well clad, and showing that level of dexterity, I must say, agility,
And precision.
and lots
And
of precision.
yeah.
A reflection of what we stand for.
Yeah. I mean,
It's moving.
yes, it is. You know, and the paradox and is great, you know, for all we are facing with challenges. And so the beauty of Grenada, the physical beauty of Grenada, the things that we represent, our flag, you know, the military parade, you know, the ability for us to showcase our identity and our you know, our independence, so to speak, our political independence, that is. It is just that we can get to do it in this time as this pandemic rages globally. And many spaces, folks can't even, you know, get the opportunity to do this. There's still quite a bit to be happy about.
Final platoon.
It's the final platoon getting ready to give the eyes right. That'll be the Cadet Corps. And they just a short march off this year. Normally they will take Melville Street. I'm sure the folks at River Road and Darbo, and so they're probably just outside now because it's just a great thing to watch, no matter what age you are at. A military parade sparks the interest of every demographic, really. So I'm sure people are out there, you know, to see them, and they march out, and they be. But just to get back to the Prime Minister's address, Superintendent McIntyre, as he focused a lot on you know, the achievements of you know, the 47 years journey of the nationhood of Grenada, so to speak, and highlighted. Of course, everything can't be in there, but some of the things that he highlighted, and also paid attention to just what is going on at this time in the country. He highlighted that it was one of the most difficult periods in his entire life. And he empathized, said it can become overwhelming at times. He empathized with the feelings of the general public, and, you know, really said that we are all called upon to take actions that are contrary to our natural instincts. Isn't that the truth?
It is.
And that is what is so hard about it, that we have all been called upon to take actions that are contrary to our natural instincts. You know, we're free, we're warm, we're loving, we like to hug. We like a good fet.
That's correct.
We like a good oil dung, a good beach jam. We can't do any of that because of what is happening. And if we're doing it, we have to do it, you know, reduced. He said instead of being totally overwhelmed and cowering over feelings of being overwhelmed, he would like to use the cries, the challenging cries, and the cries that he gets from individuals on a daily basis as motivation to find solutions. One of the solutions he mentioned, and I think one that will stay in a lot of people's minds after today, after the parade and the dust is settled on this, is the establishment of the social fund. And mentioned that he's going to engage the social partners, where every worker, every person gets to contribute, all of us who can get to contribute to this social fund. It is very timely, not foreign to us. If you remember, you were very much at the helm at the time of Ivan, when we established the National Transformation Fund, and a percentage of money came from our salaries to contribute to this. I was very heartened to hear that about who will govern the fund, because what is very, 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 we have to be very mindful, and what is indicative with these sorts of things is that they are managed in a very transparent way, and there's no risk or temptation for politicization. So I was very, very heartened to hear what he wants to do, how he intends to set it up, and how it's going to be managed and monitored.
I think, as you mentioned, it was really carefully calculated in terms of how that is going to build. We understand our challenges of the past, some of our pitfalls, and some of the uncharacteristic activities and what you call the actions of others, unscrupulous actions that may have created some uneasiness for us. So it is really, I was happy to hear him really laying it out.
Certainly did.
And that is reassuring, because that fund or that source that people can look towards is really a source of recovery or relief to them in a time when it is needed just about everyone. It's an unprecedented time, and as he mentioned, you have to take measures that it is not easy to undertake. It requires an unprecedented approach.
It does.
And it will affect the norms of which we are used to.
Right.
This is our 47th anniversary of independence, and it is normal for us to assemble in different places, have music, the oil down,
But what we can do is just see how beautiful our city of St. George is, and the beautiful waters. And I'm sure folks, wherever you are, especially those of you who are waking up in chilly climates this morning, you're looking on and just shrugging your head. And in the background is Grand Dance Beach, all the way to the tip of Point Celine. This is Grenada, this is home, it is much of St. George, but yes, it is really, really the beauty of this beautiful space, this beautiful, clean space. And when we say it's pure, we mean that. We mean that.
Literally
and of
pure.
course, once we are ready to welcome visitors again, you are welcome. But, as the Prime Minister highlighted the milestones we've had in the quality of life and the challenges of now, he also, said that, 2021 is really going to be used for collaboration, really getting us together. And that is important. It was great to even hear the word collaboration.
Yes.
What we hope is that it moves from just being a word, a concept, into us actually living it. And I think that what is happening now with the COVID and everything, we have to live it.
Yes.
We just have to live it. We just cannot look to one place, Yes, it's the Prime Minister and he's the leader of the country, but all answers does not resonate in that place.
Yes.
All of us have to rise to the occasion and really carry forward. Protect the legacy, protect everything that all who has come before has built for us, and that we as a people have struggled for as we move forth.
And Brenda, I don't think the two words collaboration and working together could be an overstatement. And it has to be bringing together all facets of our society, our construct of our nation coming together to rise to this unprecedented occasion. And as Prime Minister remarked just before he left, was the need for us to be safe. We have to protect what we have.
Yes.
Our neighbors to the north, our friends to our east and everything else. We have to rise and rise to the occasion, and we have to rise to it together.
Yeah, absolutely. A key tenet of his message too, as you say, protecting each other and being safe, was us protecting each other, looking out for the other. And I think that is where probably the idea for creating the fund came from. The fact that there are so many among us who really, really need a hand up.
Correct.
And sometimes we get the feeling that, you're successful, or, you're working and somebody else is not working and it's okay. No, it's not. And, until all of us have crossed, none of us have crossed. And there are those of us who we have to carry. And I think that really, really, really emanated in the Prime Minister's address today, what he really wants us to do, made a charge to us as Grenadians, just where we need to be going in this very, very difficult time.
I would want to reflect a little bit back on the military parade and how it complements the Prime Minister's remarks. The military parade, despite it was cut down in size, we really did not miss the numbers, because as you realize, we had the display, we felt as though we had thousands of people here.
Right.
And the display by the police band that reflected and demonstrated with the hand of banana and the Jerusalem dance, giving thanks, and also showing that we need to rise and create our own bread baskets and share from that bread basket.
That's
Give
right.
thanks and share.
Yeah.
And so a reflection on agriculture is one of the things that would show us up in terms of that level of collaboration. And what we would hope to see most as the Prime Minister make this appeal, the establishment of a fund is one for assistance, but we are blessed with fertile soil.
Yeah.
And
we don't even have to go so far as we talk about being grateful. The fact that we live in this land space, that we still have all this land.
Correct.
And the fact that this land just keeps giving us food and medicine. Don't miss that part. Food, the fact that the land just keeps spawning out food and medicine. This is not by design. We didn't do that. We got that. That is grace. That is things that we have to be really, really grateful for. So the symbolism in the hand of Rockfig, the
Yes.
and the
Jerusalem.
Jerusalem, giving thanks, because a lot of people just think it's just this upbeat, Africana song, but really and truly it is a prayer. And it is really a grateful prayer, a prayer of gratitude. So the police, they were on target and really added that special element to it. So I'd like to congratulate them for that.
Of course. And Brenda, one of the gesture that we may want to look forward to in recognition of us going forward and collaborating and showing that we all understand the trying times brought on by this pandemic, because we're also blessed, the land agriculture is really giving back. We should look forward to see more persons reaching out to those who don't have.
Yeah, that was part of the Prime
And
Minister's message as
yes,
well.
we would want to look at those. If you have a fish and somebody is a farmer and you're a fisher, the person may not have the money to purchase your fish, but they can give you some yams and you can give them fish. So we both have
Absolutely.
yam and fish
I mean,
as a meal.
He said, I think the words were, I don't want, okay, I can't quote him, so let me paraphrase. When he was getting into the areas where we're having the challenges, and he said he would just highlight a few.
Yes.
When he kept going, it kind of hit me, because you say a few, but then it kept going on. And it really come upon you that when he said, the farmers are hurting, the fishermen are hurting, and it just kept going. It went past a few. I guess a few was just softening to get into it. But when he truly got into it, and he just, the groups of individuals and sectors kept going on, for me, it really, really did something to me. It just kind of hit me. And I'm like, Jesus.
So today's military parade and Prime Minister's speech and all of what we've seen is just more than a display of military
reality check.
It's really a reality check. And Prime Minister articulated that well. And I think the display and everything complemented, brought an entire package of we are not living in the same time. It's different times. It requires a different approach.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we continue our coverage, getting ready to wrap in a few, but we now have for you the message from the chairman of the National Celebrations Committee, Mr. John Williams.
Good morning to all. It gives me great pleasure as chairman of the National Celebrations Committee to extend greetings to each and every one of you as we come to the end of this Independence Military Parade of our 47th anniversary of independence under the theme, Rebuilding Together a Safer, More Resilient Nation in These Challenging Times. History has shown that we are a resilient people, and over the years, our resilience has helped to strengthen our commitment, our traditions, and our values. Today, we give thanks to Almighty God for His continued love and mercy towards each and every one of us. Special appreciation goes out to Her Excellency Dame Cecile La Grenade, our Governor General, for her graciousness in doing the honors of the inspection of the military parade. We express appreciation to Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, our Prime Minister, for his delivery and purposeful address to the nation. To the Honorable Minister of Culture and the Arts, Honorable Yolan Bain Hosford, for your guidance and tangible support to the committee. To the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Edwin Martin, and other senior officers and rank and file of the Royal Grenada Police Force, including those who are on parade this morning, and of course not forgetting the senior officers from Her Majesty's prisons. We express sincerest appreciation to Reverend Bonnie James for the prayer of rededication, and also to members of the Conference of Churches of Grenada for your very important role and the collaboration with the Celebrations Committee. Thank you. To my colleagues on the National Celebrations Committee, Your support and commitment have been unwavering, and as such, I say thanks and well done. To the production team, comprising the Ministry of Culture, the Government Information Service, and T&R Communications for doing such a fabulous job on the technical and virtual aspects of these events, and by extension, the media for airing the activities. To the Grenada National Stadium, Wagity Rental and Sounds, and finally to the public at large. We undoubtedly miss your presence at the various events, and I refer in particular to the Independence Calypso competition, the cultural extravaganza, and most of all here at the National Stadium for the Independence Military Parade. The COVID-19 pandemic has, in many ways, moved us in directions we wouldn't otherwise have considered. But I believe that as long as we continue to work together as a nation, despite the struggles and challenges, we will succeed. Let us continue our celebrations and do enjoy the rest of your day. God bless you all, and God bless Grenada. I thank you.
And that was the chairman of the National Celebrations Committee, Mr. John Williams, really truly doing great service to bring this virtual Independence Weekend, so to speak, to us. 3 days, we had Friday nights, we had the National Independence Calypso competition. Congratulations, Sour Serpent, Sean Niles, retaining the crown. Doing
3 in a row?
Yeah, really establishing himself as one of our most formidable Calypsonians. So congratulations to you and to everyone else who participated. I missed it, but I am told it was a fantastic show, and I see lots of kudos going around from, folks that know Calypso.
Right.
Yeah.
So we would want to be able to extend our gratitude first to the electronic or media team together who put all the
yes, we would want to
together.
do that. We don't want to be general. We want
At
to,
all.
because it was 3 days of hard work.
Correct.
And normally when you prepare for this, you prepare a whole, weeks in advance. So of course the TNR Communications and the GIS team. TNR Communications topping it off, the big man himself, Mr. Richie Oliver, Blondell George, Nazim Benjamin, Kirk Oliver, Ron Deali, Gary Stephen, Dovell Emily, Colin Dragon, Roger Joseph, Reggie Joseph, Sherry-Ann Noel, Oswin Paul, Mikhail Alexis, John Jerome, and Leslie Ann Johnson.
So ladies and gentlemen, viewers, children, wherever you are, the quality that you've seen has been attributed,
to this
attributed
team.
to the team that really stuck to the task and took weeks of planning to make this happen.
Day and night.
The
Day and night.
Celebrations Committee, led by Mr. John Williams. Again, it is not the easiest of tasks, remembering that we have to adapt, we have to be innovative, we have to modify to have brought all of this virtually to our nation, to our world at large.
I keep getting commendations where folks are saying, okay, the parade should be so every year. Woo, they were just happy, the drone shots, the use of the technology, and that's why it was imperative for us to highlight the names of the individuals. Don't just give a blanket thank you to TNR and GIS, because people, probably that, funny enough, it probably would be the only thank you they'll ever get.
That too.
So it's really important that folks know who are the people behind it, and that, we don't just do this and it goes on. Everything that happens in the back to make it look smooth, even while it's on air, things are happening and they have to figure out the kinks. And so we would like to really commend and congratulate everyone. I think the highest the highest service you can give is service to your nation. And certainly this was a serious effort of great national service on this 47th anniversary as we commemorated in a pandemic.
And it did not happen on today, the 7th of February. It took weeks of planning and lots of activities that led to today. Even there was no ministerial competition this year, but there were displays of different aspects,
it's quite beautiful.
different facets of Grenada that were brought on display. That is also commendable. We've shown in many ways that we can adapt, we can adjust, we are resilient, and we can rise from every occasion. But the underlying factor, we are not out of the woods.
No.
47 years and going, we need to continue with what is working for us, adjust and project into what we would want to work better for us.
Correct.
And our watchwords, our guiding principles in this pandemic is to be safe. And as we continue on the 7th of February today into tomorrow, which is also a public holiday, we have to be mindful that as people, as we continue to socialize within confines and controlled environments, that we have to be conscious that it only takes one slip up and this nation, which we can't afford, can go back into lockdown, and all that we've worked for can all be lost. So once again, it has been a wonderful military display down here at the National Stadium. Hats off to the men and women in uniform. Hats off to Commissioner Police. Hats off to Randy Cannott and Holly George, the orchestrators, and the Fourth Sergeant Major, Sergeant Noel, and the others who were able to get this together to give us a wonderful display.
And the police officer who normally do the narration.
Inspector Douglas.
Wonderful.
He did a fantastic job, I think, if you ask me.
Wonderful. And as we get to leave you here at the National Stadium, it's fast approaching midday. And just gone past midday here in Grenada. It is Sunday. Oil and cooking in a lot of kitchens right now, outside on the fast side, on the beach too, by the river too.
Yes.
That's okay. Once we playing it safe, yeah. And so as you know, one of the things I like us to leave with this morning is kind of what the Prime Minister left with us in his speech, where he said that 2021 we will continue to focus on the well-being of our people, because our well-being is paramount if any sort of economic success, any sort of rebounding on any level is going to come. So let us continue to focus on our well-being, not just of our personal well-being and that in our spaces, our homes, i.e. our workplace, our friends, but extend it out to others as we move through this. So on behalf of everyone here at the National Stadium, the empty National Stadium, but we still felt the spirit and the vibe. We thank you so much, especially those of you in the diaspora who tuned in today to witness this, and to those of you at home. Some of you probably just coming in from church. I'm sure the GIS, they're going to repeat this again. And right after this broadcast is a special feature that will air on the GIS, so you should continue looking. So Sylvan McIntyre, Superintendent Sylvan McIntyre, thank you so much. Such a good Grenadian. Great service.
Thank you, Brenda.
It's been a pleasure.
And
thanks for edifying me a little bit about vehicles this morning.
You're very welcome.
That's my personal takeaway.
And I want to say, before we actually concluded on that one of my sons messaged me back to say we missed it one, that one of the BMW, I did not see an X5. He corrected me on that. So Brenda, I was subject to correctors as well. So
totally out of my wheelhouse. All I know is a van, look at bus, look at car, look at truck.
Yeah. So once again, it has been a pleasure for all of us. It has been a pleasure working alongside you, Brenda. I like your colors.
Thank you.
Nice reflection of all that we have. And we urge every Grenadian to be safe.
Be safe, everyone. Be safe. On behalf of the National Celebrations Committee, happy 47th anniversary of independence. Let's go for as we aspire, build, and advance as one people. For everyone here at the National Stadium, I am Brenda Batiste. Bye-bye.
A recent study of the micro, small and medium enterprises, or MSME sector, reveals that small businesses generate as much as 65% of employment. These businesses offer authentic Grenadian merchandise, ranging anywhere innovation, but more importantly, to network and build relationships with potential clients, thereby enhancing business prospects. The challenges presented by COVID-19 means that 2021 will be different. And since you can't go to them, we will bring them to you. We speak with 3 local manufacturers who all underscore the importance of supporting local. Let's meet Mrs. Christine Antwine of Antwine Woodwork Manufacturing Company. The factory is located at Mount Parnassus with a showroom conveniently located at White Gun. The company, which has been in operation for more than 45 years, supplies locally made household furniture like living room and dining sets utilizing local products. It also supplies schools and offices. Mrs. Antwine says by supporting locally made products in their business, they are doing their part to keep money in the country and create jobs.
In my business, we don't only create jobs, but we give people skills. And when people come here, they learn a skill. And as I always tell them, when you leave here, your skills go with you. So we do that for the Grenadian public. Also, what we do here also is to, by generating sales and creating employment, more money is circulated in the country.
We head now to Beaulieu St. George's to speak with Mr. Garvin Glasgow, owner of G-Links Limited, which produces organic honey. G-Link's motto is, with innovation, we transform good into great. Driven by this, Glasgow boasts that their products are on par with any other in any part of the world. He believes if we are to build a vibrant Grenada, we must support local.
We make a wide variety of natural local products. We do honey, but not just plain honey. We do some value added, so you can have an experience with honey and cinnamon, honey and ginger, honey and nutmeg, honey and bourbon, honey and nuts, even honey and fruits. As a matter of fact, speaking about fruits, we also do some dried fruits. You'll have a chance to see what that looks like as the camera pans around the room. We do dried mango. We do golden apple, banana, pawpaw, you name it. Whatever is local fruits that could be dried, we dry it.
Another local entrepreneur is Mrs. Janet Bennett Wint, owner of Spice Isle Plantation, which manufactures soap, candles, shower gels, lotion, among others. One of her most successful products in her line is the insect repellent. While the COVID-19 pandemic led to a drastic drop in sales, she says they still managed to sell some. Ms. Bennett Wint believes in the power of trade shows and expositions that create opportunities to form connections with business people overseas, translating to greater business exposure. But to form these connections, she advises that one must first have a clear vision of what he wants to achieve.
My advice is have a business plan, register your business, and make sure you work by the books and aim high. In spite of it, you would meet challenges, but I believe that once you start, you would be successful once you're determined to reach far.
It is no secret that COVID-19 has tested the fortitude of micro, small and medium-sized businesses. Minister for Trade, the Honorable Alvin Dabrio, says to facilitate the development of a robust and resilient MSME sector, his ministry will facilitate the implementation of recommendations from a recent study on the reformulation and modernization of the sector. One of these speaks to the incorporation of ICT in business operations to adjust to the global changes in doing business.
Recommend the review of the existing and the development of a comprehensive initiatives framework to facilitate the growth of existing MSMEs and to encourage the development of new ones. 3. Initiating training programs to satisfy development needs and ultimately to enhance product quality.
Now we shall know.
Spice Island must come first, yeah. Bear in mind that no amount of foreign assistance can ever compensate for our nation's independence. Our road is long and our work is hard, but our united strength is our greatest reward. We made as we strove to build a nation. Do not forget, people. Alright. There were times when we all were proud and times that we all regret.